Hey guys, Garand Thumb here with Brownells, and we have another gun from the vault. What more fitting and classic than the M1 Garand, right? Pretty ironic, actually. So, what is Garand Thumb anyhow? Glad you asked. So Garand Thumb refers to loading the rifle. So with the M1 Garand, when the weapon fires the last round, it ejects the end block, and you have the action open. When you insert the next end block, once you get all the way down to the bottom, it will release the bolt, which will begin to ride forward. Now, if you're not putting enough pressure on that top round, that round will begin to feed, and there is a good possibility that this action will then close on your thumb, hence Garand Thumb. It is incredibly painful, and if you've played with the Garand for any amount of time and you've had to do a reload under stress or timed, it might have happened to you. And so Garand Thumb was kind of a common thing that happened back there. So as always with the Garand, make sure that you know what you're doing, and also watch your thumbs. Talking about the M1 Garand, there is so much that I can say about it as far as the military history is concerned, the operating use and all that type of stuff. And we're not going to get too into the weeds on that type of thing because there are people way smarter than me when it comes to military history on these particular firearms. So we'll talk a little bit about it, kind of just a brief overview. The M1 Garand is a semi-automatic rifle, fires 30-06, holds 8 rounds, and it is fed from an end-block clip. Now, we don't have an end-block clip here, but when you fire the last round and the bolt locks back, it will eject that end-block clip and make that great ping noise. And if we had one, I'd just do that literally the entire video, so that's why they took it away from me, which makes sense, that's fair. As far as the ammunition is concerned, make sure that you are using ammunition that is suitable for the M1 Garand. We won't get too much into it, but it is M2 ball, so find something that is equivalent to that. So with the M1 Garand, you are firing a 30-06, and a lot of people associate the 30-06 with having some pretty punishing recoil. But because the weapon does weigh a little bit more, and because you're running a semi-automatic action, it's actually really pleasant to shoot, even at speed. And if you're worried about the weight of the rifle, remember that there were people who carried this rifle all the way from Normandy to Berlin. So if it's a problem, hit the gym, get a little swole. So what's cool about the M1 Garand is that it's semi-automatic, and that might not seem like that big of a deal nowadays, but when this rifle was first adopted by the United States military, most countries were using bolt-action rifles. So it was actually pretty forward-thinking for the time. Now, besides being used in World War II, this weapon was also used in Korea. After that, it was given to allies. It was exported pretty widely to a bunch of other countries. You still see the M1 Garand being used in far-flung places. There's a pretty famous picture of a fighter in Syria using an M1 Garand, so you still see them around to some extent or another. Now, these rifles are still used in competition today. So if you're looking to get one, you can go through the CMP, which is the Civilian Marksmanship Program, and you can buy one for a pretty good price, and then you can compete in various competitions that take place around the country. And those are really fun because this is a piece of history. This is nostalgic, and just shooting it just kind of brings you back to that time when rifles were wood and steel, and iron sights were the only method you had to shoot through. So guys, if you're interested in this rifle, get out there, pick one up, and go out and shoot, because that's what this is all about. Guys, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next time when we pull another gun from the vault. Stay looking cool.